owned by the municipality and dedicated as part of Phase 1, the proceeds of which would be used for the Sunderland Lions Arena project, together with the transfer of certain lands owned by the Catlin Corporation to the municipality, subject to the execution of an agreement between the Township of Brock, the Catlin Corporation, and the Sunderland Lions Club. And whereas the Planning Committee, at their meeting held on June 25th, 2018, referred the proposal to the Sunderland Lions Club for their review and consideration. And whereas the Sunderland Lions Club, by correspondence dated July the 5th, 2018, has chosen to defer comment on the proposal pending further stakeholder community input. Now, therefore, the Council of the Township of Brock, having regard for the position of the Sunderland Lions Club and the community at large, respectfully declines the proposal submitted by the Catlin Corporation. Mover of the motion, any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you. As much as the community wishes to have our arena upgraded, the public consensus appears to be that sacrificing parkland is not the right way to do this. I advocate that we pursue Section 37 to secure the funds instead. Thank you.
Thank you. Regional Councillor Smith.
Yes, thank you. I had to wrestle with this one for a while because it was an interesting offer, an unexpected offer from Catlin. It was quite a way to approach it, but I have to agree with most of what Councillor Campbell said, that I don't agree with selling the parkland, and I don't think that would be a good move for the Township of Brock or the Village of Sunderland. I do want to thank Mr. Gettenby for his report of the June 25th planning meeting. I thought that was an excellent report about this offer, where he spoke about the pluses and the minuses, and as his reports are very thorough and very neutral and requiring a council decision. So I will be supporting the motion, and I thank Catlin for their offer, but I don't think it's appropriate. Thank you.
First time around. Any other speakers on the motion? Councillor Miller.
Yes, thank you. I support. Excuse me. I support the motion. I don't believe the offer from Catlin would benefit the Township of Brock. It could possibly set precedent in the future, and I don't believe it's in the best interest of Sunderland and giving up valuable parkland. If you have a vision 50 years from now, Township's going to grow, Sunderland's going to grow, and we need all the parkland we can, and to put it all together and be under this umbrella with houses all around it, more houses and less parkland, I don't think it would be beneficial, so I support the motion.
Any other speakers, first-time speakers? Okay, I'll put in my thoughts on this then, on the first round. I too found it difficult to deal with this proposal in the sense that the Sunderland, it was not what the Sunderland Lions Club expected. They expected a straight up somehow a donation, and it didn't happen. I, with respect, suggest that Catlin come back with a proposal directly with the Sunderland Lions Club with respect to a donation to the arena. The position of this council has been to endorse the Sunderland Lions Club with the improvements to the Sunderland arena. So that's what we're going to do. I am very confident that we will get the funding one way or another to do at least some phasing of the Sunderland arena improvement. I alluded to it a few minutes ago when I talked about the development charge reserves. Also out there, as mentioned, there's an opportunity under Phase 2, the federal provincial grant applications, that we might be able to put something in there that could get approved for some funding. In both these cases, neither of the local taxpayers will be paying under each scenario. So at this point, I think it's more important in long-range planning to have our parkland preserved as best as possible and not fragmented. The offer here would have fragmented our parkland. Long range, the Sunderland Fairgrounds will actually be Sunderland Central Park, and the town will totally be around it. And I think that's the most appropriate place for our parkland. So I will support the motion myself. Councillor Campbell, second time around.
Record a vote, please.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Did you wish to speak? Yes, we can do that.
Thank you. I think, as mentioned, there's possibilities of the federal and provincial government providing some funding for this arena project. Right now, I believe the ball is in the court of the province. They haven't signed up for it yet. But I think it's important to note that this project cannot be under construction and an application be accepted. So that's why it's important for us to wait on this funding announcement and then make the application and then wait for that result. Because if we go ahead somehow and start construction, then we are not eligible for any grants. So I just wanted to make that clear, that we have to wait on that window to open before we can take advantage of what we're quite certain we're eligible, but that's not our decision. So thank you.
Any further? Seeing none, recorded vote.
Councillor Campbell,
Yes.
Mayor Grant,
Yes.
Councillor Lodwick,
Yes.
Councillor Miller,
Yes.
Councillor Parliament,
Yes to the motion.
Councillor Schaefer,
Yes.
Regional Councillor Smith.
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Carried 7-0. Next on the action committee, action correspondence, moved by Councillor Campbell, second by Councillor Miller, move that the Township of Brock declare October 16, 2018, Child Care Worker and ECE Appreciation Day. Any comments? None? All those in favor? Carried by all. Yeah. Next one we're going to do is 1502. Moved by Regional Councillor Smith, second by Councillor Lodwick, that report number 2018-CO-04 be received for information and the recommendations contained therein be approved. Any speakers on the motion? May we have an explanation for the members in attendance, or people in attendance, what this is about? Ms. Jamieson?
So the report was recommending that an open data portal for the Township of Brock be developed in a partnership with the region of Durham. So open data is something that's becoming much more prevalent across Ontario. So it's releasing data freely to the public. So it would be different data sets that the public can use. So some examples have been data that's been released in Ajax has actually been used by a resident to create a mobile app. Currently, the Region of Durham, Town of Ajax, City of Oshawa, City of Pickering all have open data. The Region of Durham has reached out to us, Scugog and Uxbridge, and has offered to develop an open data website, on our behalf. They understand that we don't have the resources to develop and manage our own, so it would be a partnership between the two of us. All data that is released would be approved through the Township of Brock prior to being on this open data, but it will really help with us moving forward thinking and just being more open and transparent.
Thank you. Councillor Miller.
Yes, through you, Mayor Grant, to staff, just to confirming that this is at no cost to the Township of Brock.
Correct.
All those in favor? Motion's carried. Yep, okay. Okay, I'm going to pass things over to Regional Councillor Smith for number 1483. I have a conflict.
All right, thank you, Mayor Grant. I have a motion from Councillor Lodwick, seconded by Councillor Schaefer. The council received communication 1483 for information, and the council engaged Central Counties Tourism to assist the township in the development of a community tourism plan, and the staff be authorized to proceed with the development of a tourism working group to guide the development of a community tourism plan and to select those individuals to serve on the working group. Any discussion on this? Councillor Lodwick?
I just want to thank Ms. Jamieson for the report. I thought it was very thorough, and I really do think that tourism is, due to our proximity to the GTA, is a really untapped market. I think the more attention we get into it, I think it will help build possibility of future businesses in the township. So I really like the recommendation. I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Campbell?
Thank you, Regional Councillor Smith. I just want to say that I worked with Central Counties as a volunteer for the Maple Syrup Festival in the past. I'm very excited about this tourism partnership. They're excellent, especially when it comes to promotion, and I think that good things will happen in the future.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carried.
All right, so we have a few handouts here, and I'm going to make a suggestion with regard to 1520. It's a request by the Nourish Community Hub in Cannington. I'm wondering if Councillor Parliament might work up a resolution for that one. 1479 is a handout tonight from concerning reserves and reserve funds. I know Councillor Miller asked for that to be discussed under others. And under others, we could probably receive and file communications 1528, 1529, 1542, and 1543. We'll do that near the end. So, where are we at? Oh, waiting on 1520. All right. This might be the part where we take out the break. We could do that. Mm-hmm. Hmm? Oh, I thought we'd just keep going. We're talking about breaking in the video. you got, planning 15? Okay. No editing. Under others, when I get to you, okay? Eventually, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Moved by Councillor Parliament, second by Councillor Miller. Township of Brock Council grants permission for the Nourish Hub to close York Street on Tuesday, August 21st and September 11th from 4:30 to 9 p.m. as long as necessary requirements are met. And those are the requirements of the municipality. Any discussion? Regional Councillor Smith.
Just for clarification purposes, that's York Street in Canada, right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
I'll call it. All those in favor? Carried by all. Next on our agenda are reports of committees. Moved by Councillor Lodwick, seconded by Regional Councillor Smith, that the minutes of the 8th meeting of the Finance Committee is held on June 18, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. All those in favor? Carried by all. Moved by Councillor Parliament, seconded by Councillor Miller, that the minutes of the 6th in-camera meeting of the Parks and Recreation Committee as held on June 4th, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. All those in favor? Carried by all. And members of council, just a reminder, friendly reminder to return those in-camera minutes. Moved by Regional Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Schaefer, that the minutes of the 14th meeting of the Planning Committee is held on June 18, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. Any questions? All those in favor? Carried. Regional Councillor Smith? Would you do that? You got it? Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask Regional Councillor Smith to do the 15th planning because I have a conflict there.
I have a motion from Councillor Lodwick, seconded by Councillor Schaefer, that the minutes of the 15th meeting of the Planning Committee is held on June 25th, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Moved by Councillor Miller, second by Councillor Parliament, that the minutes of the 7th meeting of the Protection of Persons and Property Committee is held on June 25th, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. All those in favor? Carried by all. And moved by Councillor Schaefer, second by Regional Councillor Smith, that the minutes of the 6th meeting of the Administration and Personnel Committee is held on June 25th, 2018, be adopted as a report of that committee. All those in favor? Carried by all. Next, okay, put that aside. Next section is dealing with motions. Moved by Councillor Schaefer, seconded by Councillor Lodwick, that the mayor and clerk be and they are hereby authorized to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the Township of Brock and Durham College of Applied Arts and Technology Community Employment Center. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried. And the next motion. Moved by Councillor Schaefer, seconded by Councillor Lodwick, that the mayor and clerk be and they are hereby authorized to execute a model home agreement between Marydale Homes Beaverton, Inc. and the Township of Brock to enable the issuance of a conditional building permits for a portion of the second phase of Plan 18T-87091. Questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carried by all. Next section is a consideration of bylaws. So we're just passing, members of council are just passing them around for signatures so we can do first, second, and third readings. First reading is to have the bylaw put on the table for discussion. Discussion occurs at second reading. And if there's a third reading, there'll be a vote as well. Okay, thank you. Councillor Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor Grant. Is this the appropriate time for me to ask for the Sunderland-Caitlin bylaw to be tabled until the first meeting of the new council in January 2019?
No, it is not.
Okay, when might that time be?
After first reading.
Thank you very much.
Okay. First reading. Moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Parliament, that a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 287-78-PL as otherwise amended of the Corporation of the Township of Brock with respect to certain land located within part of lots 11 and 12, Concession 6, Sunderland, in the Township of Brock, Region of Durham, be received and read a first time. All those in favor? Oh, sorry.
We have to do all those in favor before I make my statement.
Yes? No? Do we have to have it on the table first? Okay. Clarification.
You have a motion on the floor now.
Yeah.
If she wishes to verbally advance a tabling motion, tabling this motion,
Okay.
now is the appropriate time.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a seconder to the motion to table? Seeing none, we'll proceed. All those in favor of first reading? All those opposed? Motion carried. Second reading. Moved by Regional Councillor Smith, seconded by Councillor Schaefer, that a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 287-78-PL as otherwise amended of the Corporation of the Township of Brock with respect to certain land located within part of lots 11 and 12, Concession 6, Sunderland, in the Township of Brock, Region of Durham, be read a second time. Please, Councillor Miller.
Yes, thank you. Through you, Mayor Grant, to staff, I have a couple questions regarding section 37, as well as, if you could bear with me, I have lots of clarification for the benefit of the people that are here, as well as members of council. So, one question. Has the height and the density of Phase 2 gone beyond what was permitted in the relevant zoning bylaw for the targets of Durham Region Official Plan and the Township of Brock Official Plan?
Mr. Gittenby.
The overall, there's no issue with height, but the overall density that is being proposed with the additional 61 units would still meet the targets contained within the township's official plan. So there's no exceedance of the targets in our OP.
Okay, can you confirm with me what section 37 means? If I read the statement, the Planning Act permits municipalities to pass a bylaw authorizing increases in height and density of development beyond what is permitted in the relevant zoning bylaw in exchange for facility services or matters set out in the bylaw. So what you're saying is the height doesn't apply, but the density also doesn't apply because we haven't gone beyond the density.
Okay, generally, Section 37 does allow municipalities to authorize an increase in height or density in return for monies to be used for a public benefit, just as both deputations indicated earlier. Typically, or most commonly, Section 37 bylaws they become pretty commonplace in larger municipalities with a much more urban component, frequently used in the city of Toronto for increases in height in particular. With respect to its application here, it is fair to say our solicitor did indicate that he thought he could make a case for it. I guess the issue comes down to is that we have, and we did, following the decision of Planning Committee, we did discuss a Section 37 bylaw with Caitlin. And they did come back to us and said that they were not willing to consider a Section 37 bylaw because it does necessitate an agreement with them. So, Adopting a Section 37 bylaw most likely will place the municipality with an appeal from Caitlin before the Local Planning Appeals Tribunal. And that will be at the municipality's cost because we're going to be on opposing sides on the Section 37 issue.
Thank you. Can the municipality enter into an agreement with the developer after passing the amended zoning bylaw 2780-2018 PL prior to a subdivision agreement being executed?
Okay, just for clarification, you mean a Section 37 after we deal with this bylaw?
After we deal with this bylaw, before a subdivision agreement has been executed?
Section 37 agreements are authorized through a bylaw, a zoning bylaw. So if a future council, assuming this bylaw passes, if a future council decided that they wanted to pursue a Section 37, they're going to have to re-amend the zoning bylaw that we're putting in place with this bylaw tonight.
Councillor Mills still has the floor, and after that, then I'll go to Councillor Campbell, and then Councillor Lodwick, and then Councillor Schaefer.
Thank you. In future, is it possible that Caitlin could possibly sell the lands known as Phase 2 to another developer?
Yes.
So at that time, another developer could also change the density, possibly as to what the provincial plan might outline, if it's 10, 15 years, 2 years, whatever is mandated from Durham Regional Official Plan and Brock's official plan that needs to be revised.
Yeah, there's nothing in the legislation to me that would suggest that a further amendment to the plan couldn't occur. Further amendment to the plan and the implementing zoning bylaw.
So we could see ourselves with a higher density condos.
I guess it's theoretically possible. Okay. But you know, who knows?
I guess the point is, who knows until it's built.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Councillor Campbell.
Thank you through you, Mr. Mayor, to Mr. Gettenby. Regarding Councillor Miller's question 2 questions ago, would you say that this is the most appropriate and advantageous time to link a Section 37 bylaw to the bylaw to approve the 61 more houses in the Caitlin subdivision? Like, is it advantageous to have them go hand in hand?
I can't disagree with that. If you are going to consider it, now would be the time. However, as I indicated to Councillor Miller, you will most likely be in receipt of an appeal from the Caitlin Group that will have to be financed by the taxpayers of Brock Township.
Okay, thank you. Anything further?
Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Lodwick.
I heard earlier that the DCs are up for review in 2019. In 19, we will be reviewing what they may end up paying eventually if they develop the property. And is that a fair statement? They could potentially paying more for the development charges, which may help accommodate some of this, if we so choose to raise them.
Well, I think it's almost a certainty that I mean, it depends on the results of the policy report that is prepared in support of a development charge bylaw. So certainly, you know, from a staff point of view, we will review all of our capital forecasts, and we will incorporate those projects that we believe can be completed within a 10-year time frame 20 years for roads under the DC Act. And whatever we can charge for development charges, I would presume that the council of the day will accept that. And then indexing would occur annually of the charge. In this particular scenario, we have a development that cannot proceed until there is sewage capacity. And, while the region may initiate an environmental assessment process for additional sewage capacity, it's most likely that it's going to be some time out before sewage capacity is available, and presumably at that time, the development charges would probably be higher, and certainly with indexing on an annual basis. So that's a roundabout way of saying yes.
So in theory, what you're saying is the burden of whoever develops this property could potentially help mitigate some of the costs associated to a potential arena project in the future?
Not just this developer, any developer within the township, whether they're building in Beaverton or Cannington, they're going to pay development charges that will be used to finance capital projects no matter where they are.
Councillor Schaefer.
Thank you, through you, and this question to staff. Due to the fact that we are in lame duck right now, does this give us an obligation to hold the bylaw off?
No. The lame duck provisions, the restrictions in a lame duck council are basically the appointment or removal from office of any officer of the municipality, the hiring or dismissal of any employee, disposing property that has a value exceeding $50,000, and making expenditures or any other liability which exceeds $50,000. Now, the last two, disposing property and spending more than $50,000, that is permissible only if they were contained within the approved budget for 2018. But there are no prohibitions on the passage of bylaws related to planning applications and any other bylaws.
Still on first time. Regional Councillor Smith.
Yes, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes I regret going on social media, but there's a lot of, I'm not going to use the word fake news. There's a lot of misinformation out there regarding sewage capacity